Hello!
Yeah, there we go.
And welcome to Sports by Compion. My name, of course, is Stephen Compion. Joined here by some fabulous people. Of course, my ever-present Mr. Dan Gill in the house. Dan, how are you, sir?
I'm great. Good to be back with you boys. Been a while.
Yeah, we had some miscues last week and missed a terrible week of sports. Really sad stuff, but don't worry, people. We are back this week better and stronger than ever. Of course, friend of the show, fight expert of the show, Christopher Compion, graces us with his presence today, sir. How are you?
Oh, any better? I couldn't stand it. Happy to see you guys.
We're happy to have you and to talk some combat sports. The people punch each other in the face as hard as they can. Great. We're excited to have you. We're going to be covering UFC 294. We're going to be covering the Logan Paul fight, which was good times, and of course BKFC 52 taking place. Get excited, like and subscribe, get into the content, man. Combat sports coming at you right away. Speaking of which, hopping into the UFC. Do you want to talk about some of these prelims?
Yeah, let's talk about let's go down here to the Mike Breeden versus Ashul Jubli. This Indian gentleman. So India finally made it to the UFC. It's a big year for India. They made it to the moon, they made it to the UFC.
Killing it.
So yeah.
Same thing too.
Yep. So my man Ashul Jubli, he was doing great for the first two rounds. He might have even won the first two rounds. And then he kind of gassed out in the third and got knocked out. Which is a bummer for him. But, man, fatigue makes cowards of us all.
Indeed. And Mike Breeden looks like he has some bigger muscles too, but apparently he works on his cardio, Dan. He stays on it.
Yeah, definitely has some better cardio.
Cardio is the fucking and is like the worst thing in sports, but the most important.
Yep. A lot of it could be, first time under the big bright lights of the UFC. That has an effect on a lot of people. It's tough. It's not like you're just in the gym sparring your buddies, where it doesn't matter all that much, So
for sure. No, it takes some energy out of you.
All right, again, I don't know if that was a factor. I don't know if, I'm assuming the level of MMA in India is, not quite what it is where my man Mike Breeden is training.
True.
So, it was, he had two great rounds, and he'll be back. We'll see what happens next time, who knows? We might be seeing a lot more of him. Who knows? But
a lot of strikes coming out of him for sure.
Yeah. So he got knocked out in the third round.
Good times. Good good time for him debuting. I remember Tim Elliott. He catches a loss here at the end of the prelims.
Yeah, Mokaev. Yeah, that was a good win for Mokaev because Tim Elliott's been around a long time. He's a tough dude to finish. He's a savage.
For sure, he's looking savage.
Yep. And Mokaev took him out, which is a very nice win for him as a fairly new up and comer.
Is he what's it called, Dagestan?
Yeah, yep, another Dagestani. Yep.
He definitely looks like one.
Yep. There's a good few of them in the UFC now, and they're definitely a problem. There's some very hard gentlemen to beat, that's for sure.
Do you have anything to say about any of these other ones, or that dude's name is Victor Henry?
Yeah.
I think I remember this one, the Victor Henry fight. I remember Joe Rogan was getting pretty excited, but
did he quit on the stool? Poor bastard.
No, what I think happened was they briefly asked him, they don't know why it stopped, but I think he got jabbed in the eye or something, and they're asking him do you know where he is? And he said something like he couldn't see, and so they called the fight because of that.
Yeah, that's a straight highway to having your fight stopped when you say you can't see. That is not what you want to tell the doctor.
But I think they both wanted to continue, and it was one of those things. No, you said this, and now it's donezo type of thing. So yeah, he was beat.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But
he said
also,
the magic words.
Yep. I guess he wanted out. But also, like, no one was too impressed with that doctor. He also ruined the Johnny Walker fight. Like, Johnny Walker caught an illegal knee, and the ref asked him, "Do you know where you are?" And he's like, "I'm in the desert." And so
You know what? That might have been the one I was thinking
the fight
of.
on that.
Never mind. That might have been what I was thinking of.
Yeah.
Pretty good answer. So who knows why this one got called, actually.
And, like, he was in the fucking desert. Like, that was a perfectly good answer.
Well, speaking of that fight, let's pull it up here. Is that in the main fight? Michael Walker, or is that in a previous?
Yeah, that was the third one down. You wanna start at the top with the Islam Makhachev and Volkanovski fight? So that was
yeah, that's fine. Let's go to the main one.
Yeah, that didn't last long. That was first round. Islam caught him with a head kick, knocked him out, and Volk hasn't been finished since very early in his career. So that was a big shock, and he's definitely more popular than Makhachev. So a lot of UFC fans were pretty bummed about that. But what are you gonna do, man? That was a solid head kick.
Isn't this a rematch for these guys too?
Yes, this is a rematch. They fought before. Volk had a full camp. It went all 5 rounds, and they did give the decision to Makhachev, but Volk definitely won the second 2 rounds, the last 2 rounds. So a lot of people were saying, "Oh, he won the fight," because you see someone dominate the last 2 rounds, you think they won the fight.
Sure.
But Makhachev did enough in the first 3 to get the win.
Fair enough.
And he took this fight on 12 days' notice, which everyone was like, "That's not a great idea, dude." Like, it's not. People were like, "That's not a great idea for either fighter because it's. I mean, beating Islam is a tall order for anyone, including Volk, but on 12 days' notice, that's asking for a lot."
Sure is.
But yeah. Anyway, so
that's how that shook out.
Yeah, that ended pretty quick. But Volk was saying in the post fight that, like, he just likes to challenge himself. He just he needs something to strive toward. Like he's real confident, and he's still got his belt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting. What do you think about all this, Dan?
Yeah, no, I mean, with considering like the fact that it's a rematch, they went 5 last time, kind of not what anybody was expecting in terms of a fight. But yeah, if you catch someone on the button, not much you're gonna do there.
Nope.
Yeah.
Well, that was that one. One that did go the whole 5 rounds, or how many rounds was it? 3?
Oh yeah. No, yeah, Hamzat Kamaru. That did go the 5 rounds. And Hamzat definitely dominated the early round because he's an absolute beast. He's like the leader of the Dagestani wave. Well, you know what? I guess Khabib is, but he's the current leader. Anyway, he's a very dangerous, very confident young man.
Yeah, it certainly looks like it. He handled business against Usman. Was this also a rematch?
No, this wasn't a rematch.
It's just crazy to me to see like the fall of these guys so quickly. Like, it wasn't too long ago that Usman was running around being the Nigerian nightmare, right? Just absolutely killing people.
Yeah, but like
it takes one loss, a couple losses against Ian Edwards, and now he's like taking a lot of them apparently.
Yeah, but I feel like with this, like, these guys have like a relatively short career at the top, at least. Yep. And I mean, you're gonna laugh because I say golf, because I'm aware golf is not our MO here. But I feel like golf, MMA, boxing, stuff like that. Like it's such a mental sport that like you have one bad match in boxing, one bad round of golf, like they can derail you for a while.
Yeah. No,
that
agreed.
makes sense. Your confidence gets shattered. It's like, oh well, I can get knocked out. Okay.
Oh yeah, dude.
Like that, you're gonna second guess any move you make. Like, and I think that's what you see with a lot of these guys that like lose those big fights. And some of them know how to bounce back, and others don't.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think, one of the most important things you can bring into any ring besides cardio is, just that ability to perform under the bright lights, just whatever it is that mentally lets you like just put aside, emotions, whatever, the crowd, whatever else is going on, and just have that tunnel vision to focus on what you need to do. Like that's one of the most important damn things you can have.
Absolutely.
Some guys just have it,
For sure.
and the rest of them learn it through experience. The more you're in there, the more comfortable you get.
For sure. No, you see it in the NFL and literally any sport. It's like, can you perform whenever you need to? It's obviously
exactly
the thing that separates all athletes.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, some sports just give you a little bit of extra time to recoup.
For sure. Like football, for example, you get burned as a corner. Like, get over it, bro. You're right back in the next series.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that.
Right.
I mean, or like even if you have like one bad game in football, it's not like you're more times than not your job's not over.
Right.
But like you're flying solo out here and fighting.
Yeah, true.
Like it's literally me, myself, and I.
Yep. And then Muhammad also catch the contest.
Contest
with Johnny Walker. That's right.
Yeah, Muhammad Ankalaev and Johnny Walker. Yeah, that was a bit of a disappointment. But Ankalaev is dangerous as hell, dude. I mean, again, the whole mustacheless beard crew is fucking lethal. So what are you gonna do?
He does look scary. That beard alone kind of scares a bit. The Russians cleaned up, dude.
Yeah. Yeah, there was a lot of Dagestanis out there that night. I guess they were over on that side of the world, their backyards, and they represented, man.
Yeah, it's gonna sell more tickets. It's gonna draw the crowd out.
What's this guy's name?
Yep.
Ikram.
Ikram. Yeah.
Ikram.
Yeah.
Gets a first round win. Good for him. His boy Said also gets a win.
This guy, yeah, he's a goofy looking fucker, isn't he?
Yeah, he's pretty funny looking.
Gafurov Muin?
Who knows? The other guy's really goofy looking, but he's caught an L, so he is so goofy looking.
Yeah, he got subbed out, poor fella.
Poor fella.
That was pretty fast too.
Yeah.
13.
Taken down and abused.
Oh yeah, it didn't take long at all.
Sad. Well, look at that silly just look. Like he's obviously investing too much time in that and not enough time into his jiu-jitsu game. But anyway, that's UFC 294. Moving on to a kind of ridiculousness. Logan Paul and Dillion Danis.
Dillion Danis.
What took place here? What was this all about, Chris?
So, really, I think Logan Paul picked Dillion Danis because he knew he could sell a fight. Dillion Danis, he's a good jiu-jitsu player, but aside from that, his main talent is talking shit and being a troll on the internet. And he definitely sold that fight. He was going off on Logan Paul's fiancée, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah. She's apparently Instagram girl with a little bit of a past, and Dillion was happy to throw that around to sell the fight, and it worked. And the pre-fight press conference, he hit him with the microphone, which is typical, Dillion Danis shit. I'm sure he learned that from Conor McGregor. Be absolutely ridiculous in the press conference. It's your last chance. And you know what? It worked. They sold a shit ton of pay-per-views. I think it was like over 1 million or something.
Wow, that's so well.
Yeah. They sold a lot of damn pay-per-views, and then it was a really awful fight. Like I don't know if Dillion actually threw any punches. It was ridiculous. And then the last round, he tries to take Logan Paul down, and Logan Paul stuffs the takedown. He
In a boxing match?
couldn't even take him down in a boxing ring. So that was 1,000% embarrassing for Dillion Danis. But he's Dillion Danis. He doesn't care about embarrassing himself. He does it every day just by being himself. So who cares?
Yeah, and then the KSI.
Yeah. KSI Tommy Fury.
Like I heard that was a hug fest. Like no one's throwing anything in that either. Like both of these fights were just terrible.
Yeah, Tommy Fury. The only reason he has any kind of career is because his big brother is Tyson Fury.
Check it out.
He's not an impressive boxer. He hasn't beat any big names. No one would know who the hell he was. He'd be buried on some prelim somewhere making $500 if his last name wasn't Fury. I tried to watch that Fury reality show on Netflix.
Love Island.
I couldn't even get through the first episode, dude. It was too tedious. And I kind of like reality TV. The best part of it is Tyson Fury's like out at the park or something. He's like sitting on a bench, and some old man comes by. He's like old as the hills, and he says, "I still think Joshua could have beat you." And you can tell it hurts Tyson's feelings. He's like, "Well, I think anyone on this beach could beat you." And the other guy just smiles and keeps it trucking. Like, of course, dude. I'm fucking 90 something. Like, you're the pro athlete
for sure.
So,
but that's hilarious. Dude, the old guy.
It was so good. Just throws a passing shot. Like, oh look, it's one of the most famous boxers in the world. Let me tell him, I think someone could beat him. It's hilarious.
That is pretty funny. That is definitely amazing. Well, anyway, the celebrity boxing shenanigans continuing. They all continue to make lots of money. So, I mean, good for them.
Yeah.
I'm not here to be
Did
hating.
you see that? Did you guys see that? I think Jake Paul and Diaz are doing a rematch.
Yeah. I heard they're gonna do MMA.
It's in an MMA. Yeah, it's an MMA fight. It's not a boxing rematch.
Right.
So he's gonna finally.
So Logan Paul's promotion, he's got his own I guess fight promoting little thing, MVP fights or something like that. But he's signed up with the PFL, Professional Fight League. So if they do it, it's going to be there, the Professional Fight League, which would be good for them. I mean, and hardly anyone knows the PFL exists. So that'd be really good for them to get some famous dudes in there fighting. That's kind of whatever.
I think apparently it might be. They don't have a date yet.
Right. Yeah, they're still throwing that around. I'm sure they still have a lot to negotiate before a contract actually gets signed. So.
Yeah, they said don't expect it till next year.
Yeah. And I'm sure they'll take their time promoting it and all that. But I'm happy, Nate Diaz is out there getting some big checks. Just I'm happy any of these MMA guys, get to box the Paul brothers and make a bunch of money. That's nice for them. They did some grinding during their career for, UFC paychecks, which aren't nothing, but not nearly, what some of these big boxers get. So that's fine and all. But me personally, I've never been real huge on the Diaz brothers. I find their whole I'm super ghetto and gangster and I smoke. I find it all a little tedious myself, but whatever.
Fair. Well, anyway, that's the whole promotion for them. Good for Nate. I don't think he's struggling for money either, but good that he's getting in there and getting another fight. Moving on to some guys who probably do need some cash. Barnett Jr. I'm sorry. Loses to Richardson. That's the main event.
So let's just cover the top couple fights because no one knows who these guys are. What I love about BKFC is it's still the Wild West over there. You got a lot of MMA guys coming over. You got some guys with like 1 or 2 boxing matches. You got guys that it's like they're having their fight debuts. Their combat sport debuts. It's pretty wild and like. Without gloves, I mean, I've said it a million times. These are short, bloody fights. You hit someone without gloves, and they're gonna get opened up.
Wow.
Anyway, so yeah, starting here with the championship bout. Our boy Reggie Barnett was just having an off night. Like I don't know that Richardson knocked him down in the first round. With the pretty sweet punch. Oh, it was actually a body shot. He caught him with a nice body shot, and then while he was like, "Wait, what's going on? Where's the air again?" He just hit him with a jab, and down he went. So he goes back to his corner. And his corner's like, "What are you doing? What are you doing?" And he's like, "I don't know." So then he goes back out there for the second round. The bell rings, and Richardson immediately knocks him down with a jab. Just like one jab, bang, he's down. And so, the ref counts. He's back up, and it really doesn't take long for Richardson to knock him right back down. He opens up his eye, and he's bleeding above his eye, and he tells the ref he can't see, and that's that for the fight. But
Yeah.
they'll probably get a rematch. So Richardson won the bantamweight belt, which is nice for him. He's Taylor Starling's boyfriend, which is very nice for him. Things are going quite well for our boy
Mr.
Richardson. Yeah, I don't know if I personally don't condone OnlyFans, but if you want to see Taylor Starling's junk, it's on there. It's on OnlyFans. She's a good-looking girl. Anyway, yeah, on to Soto and Kroom. So Kroom is he's an MMA journeyman. He's been around a lot of promotions. He's got a record of 22-15, which it's a journeyman record.
Yeah.
But a lot of those guys are coming over to BKFC to do bare knuckle stuff. Because I think the money's better than a lot of these smaller MMA promotions.
Makes sense. I mean, it's gotta be if you're out there getting fucking punched in the face without gloves.
Right. Yeah. And that's another thing is the fights are a lot shorter than getting your face pummeled with like padded gloves for a whole 15 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Tony Soto, he's a dangerous fucker. Like he doesn't look like all that much. He looks like a fairly ordinary dude. And I got to admit, his cardio isn't top notch. I've seen him fight a few times. He's 6-0 now in BKFC. So he's been doing plenty of winning.
Good for him.
But and it doesn't really look like he's like knocking his opponents around, but like, dude, like just like 20 seconds into the fight, these guys' faces are opened up and gushing all over the place. And it's like, holy shit, when did he do all that to the poor fella? Like before this fight, I saw him fight Tyler Goodjohn, which Tyler Goodjohn is a solid vet from BKFC. And he's one of those dudes that, like, you look at him and you're like, okay, no, that looks like a dangerous dude. He's got, like, all the face tattoos and, he's got, like, the lanky body, great fighting shape, nice and lanky and all. And, he knows what he's doing, but, yeah, Tony, like, opened him up early and often. Yeah, and did this anyway. So much for that fight. We're not talking about that one, but did the same to Kroom, dude. Like had the dude gushing blood early. I think he broke his left orbital.
Oof.
It was it was good and fucked up. The poor bastard. At the end of the fight, he looked like he lost the fight.
Damn, Grim. The ball, buddy. Beautiful smile. Hope it persevered.
Yeah.
Moving on, Mr. Holloway finds himself a win over on Bandcamp. Bandcamp got some sick tattoos, but not enough to pull off this victory, Chris.
No. I actually I haven't gotten to watching these other fights yet. I kind of just rushed into this today. These bottom two, the first two, like Carson versus Middleton, that was a super quick fight. Like my man Carson, so Middleton, I think he's done some kickboxing, a little MMA. He was making his BKFC debut, and our boy Carson over here just put him down early and often. He knocked him down like 3 or 4 times, and the ref was like, "Okay, I've seen enough." So that was pretty fun. You know, I like short, violent shit.
Fair enough. Well,
and then Samples and Perez. Samples. He looks like a real dangerous bastard. Like he's ripped as shit. He looked huge. Like if you met him in a dark alley, you'd call him sir. But Perez got some nice technique, dude. He he kept him at the range he wanted, and just did his thing. Landed where he wanted. Did some sweet defense. Great boxing stuff. And without gloves, there's just not all that much defense. Like, you put your hands up, you don't have those big gloves covering all that much. Punches are still coming through. You really gotta get on your ducking, weaving, blocking, that kind of stuff.
Checks out.
Anyway, I definitely plan on watching the rest of these. I'm gonna get to that pretty soon. I just didn't really have the time yet to do my homework. I'm over here telling you the dog was holding my iPad and I couldn't do all my homework.
I understand. No, I appreciate you hopping on and giving us some insight there. I don't know how much you've been paying attention. Apparently, Francis Ngannou now has a confirmed boxing match against Mr. Fury?
Against Tyson Fury, yeah.
So that should be pretty cool. You've been paying attention to that?
Sure. That'll be interesting. I'm happy to see Francis is going to make some good money.
We'll probably cover it
here. I mean, you think we're going to see like a lot of these MMA fighters jump to boxing because of the pay?
For sure.
Or...
No, they'll just do whatever they can. You're a fighter, so it's like, hey, where can I go make some good money depending on who I'm going to fight? Like, I'll fight MMA, I'll box, whatever.
Yeah, but I feel like I don't want to say it's easier to be a boxer to go to MMA versus MMA to boxing because, like, not all MMA fighters are boxers.
Right.
Like, surely you punch, you strike.
Yeah.
The technique is different across different disciplines. So, like, I feel like it's harder for these guys to make the jump.
Well, I don't know about that. I mean, it's obviously a lot of technique to striking, too. I mean, you see, like, the difference of jiu-jitsu guys who have no idea about striking. They get caught out there. More often than not, the ground guys beat the boxers. But there's definitely something to be said about striking and the art to it. But, yeah.
Sorry, go ahead.
I don't really have a relevant point. You go ahead.
I was just gonna say, like early in Jake Paul's career when he fought Ben Askren, because he wanted to beat an MMA guy, everyone was rolling their eyes because Ben Askren, he was known as the wrestler guy. So it's like, oh, all right, dude, you're gonna box a wrestler. That's nice. Like it was no surprise when he wrecked him.
Yeah, I mean Ben didn't even train, but either way,
Yeah. But it was his biggest payday ever.
Good for him.
So
hope he's all right. Anyway, we're gonna wrap this one up. Another episode of Combat Sports. Thank you to Chris for being here, of course, and our co-host, Mr. Dan Gill. you find people should like and subscribe to our content so that you can stay up to date with vague sports coverage by Sports by Compian. Also, have a great night.